Hello friends, welcome back to Word and Fire Revival channel, and this is still your sister Grace. In the last video, I promised bringing you the story about how I married, how I made a choice of a life partner. Remember, I said in the last video also that there is something that was paramount on my mind concerning choosing a life partner. And what was it? I never wanted somebody that I have to fight with other women to keep. I never wanted. So if you are handsome, disqualified. I never wanted a handsome man at all. If you are too elegant that other girls will come and start fighting me, I will not marry you. That was where I based my choice. Eventually I married, but the person must be educated and the person must have prospects for future. So eventually I married somebody. He was not flashy, but he had family values to my understanding then. And he was humble. Somebody that will appreciate you. So I chose this person working in an oil company, and we decided to get married. And it happened that my parents and his parents were friends. Sort of his mother was like a mother to my own mother. Excuse me. Pardon me, there's too much dust. So, the day we were going for our traditional marriage in the village, on the way I was driving. Remember, I bought this my 2K Volkswagen. Then Volkswagen new tear rubber on the road was like 2,950 with cassette player. Tear rubber. There was nothing like second hand. No, nothing like second hand. Nothing like Tokumbo. It was tear rubber. So my car was strong. But on the way, as I wanted to overtake a vehicle, one big tanker just came on directly in front of me. But God saved me. Maybe if anything had happened to me, they would say, it's Ogbanje. Maybe she didn't want to get married. But eventually we got home and we did the traditional. And I don't know whether they do that now again. You know, in Igbo culture those days, when they come for the first time to do introduction, we saw a girl here, we want to marry this girl. They will come, you know, and they will tell the girl, after they have introduced, they will tell the girl to follow her husband's people to their place and stay for 3 days so that the girl will check whether she would like to stay there or she would not like to stay there. So that was what I did. It was tradition. But before we left, one thing makes me laugh each time I remember it. My grandfather called me by the side and said, come. I came and say, they used to say you are going there to check whether they have a lot of palm trees, breadfruit trees, oranges, cash crops. But that is not the main reason. That's what people say, but that's not the main reason. When you go there, you check whether the man is man enough. That's what, but don't get pregnant too. So that was what they were doing those days. I never knew until my grandfather told me. So I went there and stayed 3 days. Nothing happened anyway. I stayed 3 days. My mother-in-law gave me bitter leaves and said I should go to the stream. Imagine a city girl born in the city, brought up in the city, working in the bank. I was told to go to the stream and wash bitter leaf for soup. My intending husband was away with his brothers. So when they came back, where is she? They said she was in the stream washing bitter leaf. They didn't take it easy. They say, why? Mama, why do you have to send her to the stream to wash bitter leaf? Because it's what they used to do those days. You are checking on us. We have to check on you too, whether you are trained, whether you are fit enough to be our wife, whether you can cook well. I had to make the bitter leaf soup. Thank God even till now, I'm a very good cook. From childhood, my mother really taught all my sisters how to cook because she was a very good cook. So that was how I went to the stream, watched bitter leaf, came back, made soup, and they ate. After 3 days, they gave me a jar of wine to carry back to my people and tell them whether I like to stay or I would not like to stay. I went there and said, after all, we have known ourselves, so it didn't really make any meaning. There's no way I can tell them I don't like to stay. If I didn't like it in the first place, I wouldn't even allow the introduction. So I went there and told them. They now fixed a date for the proper marriage, the traditional marriage. We came for the traditional marriage, and we did everything. You drink and you give your husband to be to drink. He would drink, the pay dowry, and that was how the marriage came. I don't want to go too much into details, Shabet. We came back to Lagos. He was staying in Lagos. I came back to Lagos to join him, and we did our white wedding. The day of our white wedding, come and see rain. Come and see rain. It was in a July month. So after the white wedding, marriage has started. I was transferred back to Lagos. That's my office. Transferred me to Lagos and posted me somewhere around here. But I think it was University of Lagos branch that they posted me. I went there and I worked. Family life had started. So I noticed one thing, that marriage is not like when you were friends. No. It's quite different from friendship. Quite different. During courtship or friendship, you can do anything and get away with it. You can be lazy to cook, you eat out. Though in our own case, once in a while we were eating out because he was not a troublemaking person. We understood ourselves very well. But after some years of marriage, meanwhile we had the first child, we had the second child, yes. Then we had the third one. After the third child, my husband was transferred to another town, to Benin, precisely from Lagos. So I tried working my transfer. That's what married women do. And companies, when your husband moves, they want to move you to avoid, problems in marriage. So within some few months, I was transferred also to join him in Benin. But before we went to Benin, I had a dream. You see, God speaks to us through dreams. If you are spiritual enough, you can walk, according to the dream God has given you. So the dream he gave me was where I saw a woman lying in between me and my husband on the bed. We were so close. So I narrated the dream to him. He said, it's nothing to care about, forget. Meanwhile, God can never lie. Eventually, that was how a strange woman came into our marriage and split us, a woman from Edo State, Isham precisely, and split the marriage and never cared about the children. And that was how the problem started. When it was getting too much, I thought maybe it was because I wasn't having enough time to, bankers come back late. They come back late. So because of that, I left my job. I went on voluntary retirement at a very young age to keep my marriage. Remember, I said I wanted a very good marriage, not money. If I wanted money, I wouldn't have married the person I married, but it was a good marriage I wanted. So I had to leave my work and, to make my marriage work, but I never succeeded. Eventually, the strange woman took my husband, and one thing after the other, we were told to leave the family house where we were living. And I found myself and my children outside, homeless, looking for where to stay. But eventually God sorted us out and gave us a place to stay. There was no quarrel. I'm saying this. I'm not trying to humiliate anybody. I'm not trying to report anybody. And I don't want self-pity because I am okay. Why I'm saying this is, those that want to leave their jobs because they want to keep a marriage, please don't try it. It doesn't work. When a man's heart is no longer where you are, even if you kill yourself, he's going. When a man's heart is not where you are, no matter how you want to kill yourself, you want to do, no, he's going. That is why I'm surprised that some people that will stay, because at that time the men will start being hostile, start beating, start doing other things. And if you stay and say, I want to repair my marriage, your life may go for it. I made a video earlier when I said, if it's not working, let it go. So you just relax. I'm not telling you to leave your matrimonial home, but relax your mind and know what you are getting into. God helping you, you will succeed. So that was how I became a single mother. But God is so faithful. I've left my job. I don't have assistance anywhere from anybody again. No husband again. So the children of a highly placed oil company worker now became paupers. We had to be eating anything we saw. Meanwhile, somebody was enjoying what should be ours. So I started baking. I started baking. I think it was bread. That's very funny. I had a book I bought from Kingsway Stores those days, and they is teaching about baking, complete bread book. Anytime I try to bake, my bread will be like shot put, very strong. But you see the way God works. After all this, I now said, okay, what do I do? I've left the bank. Even my general manager in the office said I should not go. I said, no, I have to go. That this job is affecting my marriage. That was how I went. And God values those that value their marriages, because marriage is an institution that was established by God. I'm sure that was why he helped me. I baked the bread for the first time after I left job, and the bread was just spongy, bouncing, butter, very nice. I said, okay, since this is nice now, let me see whether it's what I'm going to use to take care of my children. I started with half bucket of flour, this custard bucket. Then I baked the first time. It turned out very fine. Very few loaves. I think about 8 loaves. I carried them to one shop and say, please, I brought bread for you. They say, we have not sold this type before. The label was so nice, very colorful and beautiful. And the bread was so nice. When I was making the label, I told the printer to print my label. I said, print with a touch of gold. He said he made a mistake and printed with a touch of God. He removed the L. I didn't know it was God's plan, a touch of God. So I gave one shop the bread, 8 loaves. I waited for 2 or 3 days. By the time I went back, they sold only 3, and they gave me 8. They gave me 8 back. It was so discouraging, but I refused to be discouraged. I went back and baked again. But the summary of the whole thing is that I baked, and the bread was moving small, that it got to a stage people started requesting for that bread, Santabella bread. People started requesting for that bread. People will eat it. Other shops will go there, buy it, or their customers will tell them, I ate one bread in one shop. They will go and buy it and see my phone number. They will call me. That was how I started baking bread. Then one day I went to distribute bread, and one shop said that somebody was bringing them donuts and the person did not come, and people are asking for donuts. She asked me, Madam, can you make donuts? I said, yes, let me go and try. I've never made donuts before. But I know that donut is a fried bread. It's bread dough that is fried. I went and tried it. It was spongy, very nice. The next day I carried donut to them. I tried with 10 pieces. They sold it and called me and said, do you have more? I said no tomorrow. The next day I brought. That was how I started distributing donuts to shops in big shopping complexes and big supermarkets. Some supermarkets started coming to where I was frying the donuts to pack donuts because they said customers are waiting. It's not because, I won't call it luck, I won't call it that I am very perfect. I just took it that it is the way God wanted to help me with the predicament I've seen myself in, because I had no help from anywhere. I used to borrow like 2,000 from somebody, 2,000 from friends to bake. After baking and I'll buy food stuff, there will be no money again. No money to continue. I may go and borrow again because my children have to eat. But after a while, the borrowing stopped because many clients started coming. It still surprises me till today. The way people were rushing for Santa Bella donuts, Santa Bella bread. I later on added chin-chin, cakes, plantain chips. I even started, making recipe that I didn't copy from anywhere. There was one I called something windmill. I shaped it like windmill, put chocolate windmill, put chocolate and groundnuts inside it and baked it like bread and brought out. People were eating. It was just God's favor. It's like this video is getting too long. So maybe I'll stop here. But the summary of the whole thing is that my marriage broke down, not my own making, but because a strange woman came to break my home. Can I stop here today? I don't want the video to be too long. Okay? Please continue watching. Subscribe to my channel, Word and Fire Revival channel. Share this video. Let others learn. Other women, young in marriage, old in marriage. Marriage is not a bed of roses. No matter how you try, it's only God that can keep marriages, not your efforts. Not because you are loving. Because the love that started marriage is not what keeps marriage. What keeps marriage is the marriage vows and God's grace and mercy. So let me stop here for today. I will still upload another video very soon so that you can continue following up with this. Okay, bye for now. See you later.